Welcome to the Ed Block Courage Cast live from the 47th Ed Block Courage Awards. What a beautiful backdrop we have behind us. It's a beautiful day. I'm your host, Dave Stomwell. That is Dwayne Clemens is here with me, DC. Wally and DB will be here later, but I think we got a pretty good guy that's filling in while they're away. That would be Arizona Cardinals Ed Block Courage Award recipient LJ Collier is back with us. LJ, congratulations. Welcome to town. First off, what's your thoughts of the scene behind you here that you have?
Hey man, look, I can't wait to get out there, walk around, see what Baltimore has to offer, man. Like, I hear nothing but great things. I know the football's good out here, but I'm looking to see what the food's about and the people, man.
Well, you brought some great weather with you because it wasn't looking this good yesterday. So wherever you came from, you must have brought the sunshine in.
Hey man, look, you never know in Texas, man. Look, it can be hot or cold, or it can be raining. Like, man, just 2 days ago, we woke up to a crazy windstorm, rain and all types of stuff, and now it's 80 degrees today. So that's Texas for you right there.
So now that you're here, we talked earlier, and we talked about you being an Ed Block Courage Award recipient the first time. What does it now mean that we're now at the weekend and now you're here in the city getting ready for this weekend?
I mean, it's very exciting for me, man, because, you know, like I said before on the phone, I didn't know what this year was going to have to offer for me, and being able to win this award meant a lot for my peers and the guys in Arizona, so I know what they really think of me and stuff like that. So I'm really excited to be here, man. I'm a people person, just to get out and talk to people and interact with the other guys who came here and see how they battled back to get back here, man. It's going to be an interesting time.
Now, you were telling us while you were coming in and greeting everybody and signing the footballs that you have a relationship already with one of the other recipients this year, correct?
I mean, I don't know Dylan personally, but I respected his game. I always look after guys that went to TCU and are going to be in the league. We haven't met formally because, you know, most of those guys are at pro day, and I ain't been back to Fort Worth as much as I should have. They be practicing kind of early now. When they change coaches, they practice at 6 a.m., but Dylan's a great player, man, and I'm not surprised at where he is in his career. He's going to have a long career in the NFL. He's a legend at TCU in my eyes. I liked how he played the game.
Now, being a D lineman, we've actually kind of noticed this year there's quite a few D linemen in here, so I think we're going to win the dance-off just because we got the numbers and we got the guys in the trenches that know how to get down when the lights shine brightest. Who is some of the biggest influence you had as a D lineman on your career, and who do you think your game most resembles when you talk about the history of the game?
Man, I like how Fletcher Cox plays, and then truth be told, I used to watch a lot of James Harrison in college. Like, you know, I tell myself I was pretty much self-taught. I came from a small town in Texas, and I used to just watch videos just to teach myself how to pass rush move and just go through them at practice. And I'll tell you a story now. We were going to play Stanford in the Alamo Bowl in 2017. It was the season before my senior year. And I was going to practices that week in San Antonio, and I'd watched a video of him put on a clip of him going through a two-step bull rush. And, man, look, still got the clip of my Instagram. I could pull it up for you. Picture perfect. I ran through Walker Little's face.
Just
and
like
he played for the Jags now, but man, he was a young man, but ran through his face.
So you're part of that great Texas tradition, guys like John Randall.
He a legend now. I can't put my name up there, but I'm showing him I'm a rep for Texas all day, though.
We expect you to be standing in that hall with him one day. You know, I know sky's the limit for what you dream about, but I know you got to perceive that it's going to happen.
I never say never, man. Never say never. Still a lot of ball left. I still think I can get there, but hey. John's a legend, man. So to be putting the name with him, man, was very impressive. I appreciate that.
Well, you're in great company because he was also an Ed Block Courage Award recipient. We actually got to sit down with him at Radio Row a few weeks ago, or announced about a month ago. But I know he was a huge influence on me. And I know one of the things I've always loved is to watch what he's done with his career, post-career. What do you dream about doing in your afterlife?
Man, see, I struggle with that all the time. Like, I'm steady trying to get a podcast going right now. Really just been sitting on my pockets with that. But as far as, like, I really haven't really seen what I want to do yet. Like, I've tried things here and there, but, man, that's still a mystery to me. And I know it's going to be here sooner than I'd like it to be. But for right now, I really don't know. I ain't never really wanted to get into coaching much. Kind of like, that ain't ever been my thing. I love ball, but I don't know. I know I got a lot to offer the game. But right now, I really don't know much what I want to do once I'm done. Like, it can be anything. Like, I've talked to former teammates who are doing things like, I have a teammate from college, his name is Cole Novak. Him and his dad have a pretty successful construction business, and I maybe wanted to shadow him for. Like, I might do things where I'm just like shadowing people. Like, I really like movies and stuff, but it's hard to break into things like that. Like,
oh, that's the real estate, man. Get into those movies, man, because you know once you get into one, you get them residual checks for life. That, you know, one of the biggest regrets I had, and you know, shouts out to Lee Steinberg, my former agent. he tried to get me in. I was supposed to be in Jerry Maguire, and at the time I was
Show me the
married,
money.
and my wife did not want me to go to Hollywood because she was like, "No, you're gonna be in Hollywood. I was gonna be in LA for you." So she was dead set against me. She's like, "You just need to play on football." That was the biggest mistake of my life. I should have focused on just trying to beat everybody and be in everything. So man, get into those movies, get some residual checks coming because those last forever.
Man, I definitely will. But my whole thing is I really like anime. And I
Okay.
told myself if I ever made enough money, like, I mean, I did one act play in high school, but I never thought me being an actor or anything like that. But I like to be behind the scenes.
Okay.
I feel like I went to Japan a few weeks ago just to see how they do things, how much similar it is to the anime and things like that. And the place is so just unreal, man. Just like I don't know if guys have ever been over there. It's so clean. The people, the way they carry themselves, are well dressed. Food is amazing. It's so different over there. Like,
Politeness was crazy, wasn't it?
man, you know, they really don't talk much, but man, if you come into a store, people speak more English than you. Like, I've been to some places where the English barrier is very difficult. They're not at all. They're very sensible fam. They're very respectable people. And, like, man, just the way they run everything, bro, is ridiculous. The train station from where you go places, how so single file. Like, you know, over here, man, we kind of like, everybody kind of do their own
Fly
thing.
by.
It's a bunch of people. I think anybody ever been to Disney World?
Yeah.
Like over there, it's so calm. But it's still gonna be a bunch of people, but it's like structured.
Yes.
Whereas you go to Florida, man, look, it's just people scrambling.
Free for all.
I'm telling you, man, look.
Yeah, our coach could use a little bit of that. We definitely kind of got a little crazy over here. Do you plan on retiring abroad, maybe?
Man, look, me and my wife are talking about maybe getting a place overseas somewhere. Like, she was like, well, maybe when our kids are grown, stuff like that, we'll go live somewhere for a couple months. And I was just like, man, look. She was talking about New York. I was like, hell, we're gonna do it. I like going to Japan or something like that. Like, New York's fun. That's one of my favorite cities in the States. But I was like, hey, we go to Japan, get a little nice little chill spot, learn the language pretty good, learn certain words. Shit, I can sit out here and eat the candy, eat the food for days, man. Like, one of the craziest things I told people about is when I tell you, where'd you eat the most? 7-Eleven. And people says they're like, oh, what's the tour? Like, man, look, it's so fresh, it's so clean. Like, they had the egg salad sandwich, I'm sure you've seen on TikTok, and the tuna sandwich, and just the sandwiches in general. Man, look, that's some of the freshest bread you'll ever get. And you can't even buy it at a store out of it. What's something's like, how do you keep it so fresh, so soft? I'm like, man, look, and the food's just so clean. I lost 15 pounds while I was over there.
Wow, the standards are the standard over there, huh?
I mean, look, I ain't gonna lie to you, I didn't see not one fat person. Everybody was skinny. They weren't necessarily, no buff people. They were all
No processed
in shape.
food, huh?
Nothing. Wasn't really greasy. Not too much fried food, really, either.
I want to ask you, since we're talking about places, you've spent time in Seattle, that's where you were drafted, and then you've spent the last 2 years in Arizona. City alone, which one is better? Because I've been to Glendale, went out for the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, and I love that city.
Man, a lot of people love Seattle, man. Like, the dudes, like, a lot of the former Super Bowl team guys are still around there. Like, people love it. Me, on the other hand, I'm from Texas, bro. It's cold all the time. It's rainy. You only gonna get good weather from the summer and the training camp. I'm just like, nah, that ain't me, bro. Like, you gotta take vitamin
2 months
D
ain't
pills.
enough.
Hell no, bro. And I'm telling you about, like, I'm from Texas, man. You get, like, man, look, think about it. You go from playing games where it's gonna be rain. You know where the cold games are gonna be. West Virginia and stuff. It'll be cold in Texas, but nah. It's going to be 35, and it's going to be a slow drizzle. When we played out there this year, that was the longest game we played in all year. And it was a tight game. We ended up losing 12-9, but that would tell you how long the game was.
So now I've played in every kind of weather, and people always ask me, what's the worst weather to play in? And I always tell you, I played in Minnesota, and I've been outside -14 with high winds. But so long as you aren't wet, you can always get warm.
I promise
The
you.
coldest game I ever played in was a torrential downpour in Oakland, and it was just raining buckets with like a 25-mile-per-wind. It was just water pushing into every orifice, soaking every part of your body. What's the coldest weather, or what do you feel is the worst climate to be in?
Man, I ain't going to lie to you, bro. And this is why I say I fight the Chiefs. It's so hard to beat. But to go down, we played the Chiefs my last year in Seattle, in this, like the day before Christmas, in December. Man, look, dudes walking around with shirts off a photo. I said, nah. The field was so frozen, fam. Like they had to come out there breaking the field down.
Dang.
Like, it was so hard for me at that. I'm like, nah, this ain't the what type of weather you can play in. Like, man, well, I can definitely play in it. There and Green Bay are definitely two of the coldest places I've ever been. In Philly. I'm just like, nah, bro. I mean, I'm going into year 7 now. Only I'm going out there is for some money.
Now, have you ever played on a frozen ground, like when literally the ground is frozen, your cleats can't even penetrate?
Never got that cold in Westminster. We were never that good, so we weren't playing that well deep into November anyway. So I have played in the torrential downpours before, and there's nothing worse than that when there's no, like, you want to like wipe your face off and there's you got nothing.
And you got mud and crevices that you didn't even think you could get mud into, and you're like, man, this has got to end.
Man, look, it's one of them things where you just kind of, in the NFL, most places will roll with they got domes now. I'm just like, man, I don't think Kansas City ever have one.
They're never going to get one.
Green Bay, it's going to be what it is out there. And they use that to their advantage, and I swear they do. Because if you're not used to it like they are, man, it'll beat you up.
Absolutely. We love Miami to come up there in the wintertime and just be like, listen, you ain't comfortable. We live in this.
They froze them out a couple years ago.
I was going to say.
That was the year they scored 72 points in the game, too.
You can't do it in the cold. You can't win in the playoffs.
Meanwhile, the Chiefs was fine, straight, humming.
Yep.
Hey, man, look, I'm a fan. Like I said, that's why I hate to, once our playoffs hopes kind of went out, I pulled for Baltimore after that. I'm just like, man, look, I want them to beat the Bills so bad, but we're not going to get in. That's probably a soft topic out here on the streets. We're going to bring that up.
I think some of us are over it. Some of us are over it. Just don't mention Mark Andrews. I still think he's a little on the hated side, which is a little unfair, but
are we going to talk about your kicking game? Is it too soon?
That's definitely too soon.
Is it too soon?
We're going to cut that one out in post-op.
Okay.
Man, Mark had a great career, man. I feel like he one of the type of people that'll build off that.
Yes.
And one thing, y'all never seen the Bulls of Baltimore 30 for 30 about the team, the Super Bowl team
the 2000, yeah. Oh, that was great.
And look, one thing that teaches about this organization is, and I've never played there, it's just a respect factor. Like, man, look, they've had the same people running stuff since then, and this going into 2025. And that'll tell you one thing about it. And that's why I feel like they'll be back. I feel like Lamar will definitely get him one here. Don't know when that will be, but he for sure will, and it will be when people don't expect it.
I want to ask you as we get ready to wrap this up. You are heading into free agency, and you're just talking about like looking at a classy organization. Like, what are you looking for going into free agency at this stage in your career, where maybe first time you hit it was a little bit different when you were out there?
First time I hit it, man, it was just like on some, I just need a place to show. Seattle wasn't the best place for me. I still, it's a great organization for people. Like, I talked about the weather, but it's still a good vibe out there. You're very treated well. The facilities are nice. And they had a great time. I played for Pete Carroll, and he treats his players great. There's no doubt in my mind that he will have success in Las Vegas because people can play for Pete. If he puts a good staff around him, they'll go far. And whereas Arizona, man, like, it was like a breath of fresh air for me, man, just to come in and see. Like, I really like the head coach and the DC there, and those guys really believed in me. And when you got somebody that can believe in you, you can go far. And I didn't expect to get hurt the first year. That really it took a toll on me. I've never missed an entire season. So for me to come back off that and play this entire season, that meant a lot to me, just to prove that, when you're a first-round pick and things don't go about yourself, every dude with a clipbook in the world can tell you you're not going to do this, but they ain't never set in that fire. Most people would have folded in the position I'm in. Oh, you only have this many sacks. I'm like, man, look, as long as they'll give me an opportunity to show up, they're going to get a guy who's going to work hard, and I'm selfless. I don't really say much, man, but I will play my ass off for you, and I will do what needs to be done. And I feel like that shows on the tape.
Well, hey, sign him. You just heard that was the best endorsement I think we could give him, LJ. Congratulations. It's going to be a fun weekend here with